Earth, the planet that we live on, home to nearly 10 billion people. But is it home to all of us? Some of us are not from here and we know it. Maybe not consciously, but on a subconscious level we know we don't belong here. So where did we come from? Which galaxy did we originate from? Who are our original people? We have to ask ourselves, are we from the Milky Way galaxy or from somewhere else? We are on a constant journey of searching where we belong and why we exist in the first place. But are the explanations from earthly religions going to answer these questions for us? So many people these days have questions of life and existence, but are left empty with only more questions after following some earthly belief structure for years. We also wonder, why are some people born with incredible talents and seemingly have an advantage over others intellectually, and some fall short? Do we reincarnate and learn through our existence, giving us an advantage in our next lifetimes? Or do we live only one lifetime and go to heaven like religion tells us? Some people believe we're in a simulation and our lives are being controlled by powerful beings. Some people believe that a creator deity presides over us and dictates every aspect of our lives. Or do we have control over our own lives completely, and we decide every aspect of our existence? We live on a planet that's shrouded in mystery with ancient structures that were built, but we have no definitive way of explaining how this was accomplished. Did other people from another planet come to Earth in the distant past and help our ancestors build these megalithic structures? Also, do ghosts exist, or are they figments of our wild imaginations? Have the hundreds of sightings of Bigfoot and other cryptids been fabrications of people that were seeking attention? Or have they been here with us all of this time? We also have to ask the question about our genetics and why we are so barbaric and warlike. Were we genetically manipulated by other human beings to be predisposed to barbaric tendencies? Have other humans and people from the great expanse of the cosmos been coming here for millions of years, and people are only denying this fact? I'm going to delve into these things: reincarnation, spirituality, existence, UFO encounters, the paranormal, science, genetics, and the future on livestream, and discuss with you, the listeners, and try to figure out the truth of all these mysteries. And maybe, just maybe, we'll find out together that we are all not from Earth. In the world we live in today, there are so many diseases, viruses, and degenerative disorders, and no cures for any of them. Not to mention that we are all genetically manipulated by other human beings from the Sirius regions in the Milky Way galaxy. There are only a few people pushing for cures to everything that ails us physiologically, and the negative individuals are only looking for cures for their own selfish purposes. Since these so-called elites don't have any intentions on sharing their findings with the rest of the population on this planet, we have to strive to come up with the solutions to every single disease, virus, degenerative disorder, and the genetic manipulation ourselves. We also have to figure out how to extend our lives further and further and live healthier. Through the studying and experimentation of genetics and everything physiological, we'll find the secrets of creational biology and discover several unique ways to advance ourselves in a natural and positive way that aligns with the laws of creation itself. So many people all around the world have a ridiculous fear of delving into genetics and advancing our physiology because of the past negative megamaniacal dictators and scientists that tried to achieve pure perfection in an unnatural way. There is a correct way to delve into the medical sciences that aligns fully with the laws of creation. And until we figure that out, there won't be any reasonable progress on the front of the medical sciences. We have to put aside any notions of vanity and arrogance to master the medical sciences. By studying biology and plant life itself and the molecules that make up different plants that can sustain us, we'll figure out a way to bioengineer plants that grow meat protein sources. In this accomplishment, we will no longer need to slaughter animals of any kind to sustain us, and we'll live in symbiotic relationship with nature itself, as it was intended. Through several physiological advancements and positive manipulations of our genes, we will be healthier, have fairer traits, and be more physically fit with endless endurance. Also, with the dissolution of a financial system in the future, anyone and everyone, no matter where you're born on this planet and what color your skin tone is, We'll get the highest level of medical treatment that isn't currently available now in our time. When the big corporations share these advancements in medical technology with the regular people of this world, everyone will benefit. And we will all benefit on a level that hasn't been achieved in the past. We have to come together in unity and true equality, and true empathy and compassion, and be open and honest with each if we want to advance to the next level of evolution as an entire civilization. We have to share knowledge equally to all generations, especially the younger generation. They have to learn from a very young age the complexities of cells, DNA, biology of plants and animals, everything about our human physiology, and the planet itself, so everyone is on an equal level of knowledge throughout the planet. There can't be few people that are knowledgeable and others aren't. We have to care about the next generation of scientists and be shining examples of what they should become when they grow up. The responsibility of the older generation, no matter what planet you're on, or what civilization you're from, is to protect, heal, and guide the younger generation into being the most knowledgeable, positive, and strong-willed adults possible. It's our duty to make sure that the civilization continually evolves in a positive way. So let's talk about this tonight: cells, DNA, biology, and human physiology.
Hello everyone. I hope you guys are having a good evening. It's a little bit late. Um, it's Monday morning at 1:42 a.m. Eastern time, but I'm a night owl, so uh, yeah. Hopefully you guys had a pretty good holiday. It's a 4th of July holiday. Today is 7/06, 2026. As far as I know, I don't know. People have got this like unusual theory that we're like 6 years, in the past. The simulation theory. It's really interesting. I'm starting to think about it a lot lately. I'm gonna have to do a whole episode on that one. My intro video, my main intro video. Um, yeah, I talk about that simulation theory. That's one of the biggest theories out there. I don't know, honestly. Um, there are certain aspects of it that are very, very fascinating. I'm just not sure. I'll have to look more into it, but quite a few people, thousands upon thousands of people around the planet, believe that you know we're stuck in some sort of simulation and kind of like the Matrix, and there's some powerful individuals that are controlling us, or robots are, or AI is, or who knows. Some people have the theory that um, after 2012, the whole Mayan thing, the end of the world, that's when the world kind of ended for us, and we're sitting in vats of liquid, and we're in a simulation. Yeah, very very interesting theory, but I don't think that it is real. I'm pretty sure that this is reality, but I'm more than willing to, entertain that idea and look at some of the details and the facts. But every so often, I catch myself kind of wondering, um, especially what happened last night in my dream state. Something very bizarre happens. If any of you, if this happens to you, let me know. Put down in the comments, because this is bizarre and it hasn't happened in a long time. So whenever I get like deep into, my spiritual subconscious, I go all over the place. I go into planetary records, astral project around the planet and the galaxy and universe, but I go into the creational records also. I do all kinds of stuff in my sleep, levitate, and I even believe that I've been in different dimensions. I have that capability only on a subconscious level, not on a conscious level. I can't shift into another dimension consciously. There are peoples that are interdimensional beings that have that capability, but I can't say that I'm one of them. I do it when I'm asleep. I know for sure that I have shifted into another dimension on Earth, but I brought some stuff back with me. Whether you believe it or not, I'm 100% sure that's what happened. But what's been happening, what happened in the past is when I delve too far deep into my spiritual subconscious, like my comprehensive conscious block, where all my past life knowledge lies, there's this knocking noise. It's like three knocking noise, and then I snap out of it and I wake up. It's happened dozens and dozens of times. It hasn't happened in a while. It just happened last night. So I'm just curious to see if that's happened to anybody else. If it has, I would love to talk about it. Like what you remember before that happened, because usually I don't remember much. So that's kind of got me like thinking. I really don't know. Someone did something to my subconscious, preventing me from accessing all my accumulated knowledge. I'm 100% sure that's what that is. I just don't know how to explain it, but it's very bizarre, and I feel like I've been manipulated with on a subconscious and spiritual subconscious level, and that's just not cool with me. But if anybody else has experiences, I would definitely love to hear your opinion about that. But yeah, so this is episode number 30. Gonna be talking tonight about genetics, different diseases, and consciousness power healing. So I was supposed to do this episode on Friday a couple days ago, but there was a lot of things to put together in order to make this episode. I had to do like put together presentations and all that, and do that new intro video. I hope you guys like that. Those of you that watch on Patreon, yeah, I put a lot of work into it. I really liked it. It came out really, really good. There's a link to the regular intro video. Yeah, I put a whole lot of time into it. Hopefully you enjoy it or whatever. Yeah, so let's see. I'm gonna go into a couple of things. It's not much has changed since yesterday, but gonna put this video up. It's about I had to excuse me. What I had to do, I had to I had to remove the sound from it because the person that was recording this in Auckland, New Zealand, they were cursing a whole bunch. I'm not gonna put that on my podcast. A bunch of bad words and all that stuff. So because that will affect my Apple Podcast rating, I'll have to change that or whatever. So what we're seeing for those of you at Apple Podcast and Spotify listening from the audio on my website, this is just fascinating because I've seen this kind of stuff before. I've seen it, in a wake state. I've seen it in the sky, and I've seen it in my dreams also. Play it again. It is most definitely otherworldly ships. These are not, you know, Earth-made reverse engineered ships. There's just no way that they're moving far too fast. Um, there was three of them that went by. This person filmed them. Maybe they were seeing some before that, but they just happened to pull their phone out at that moment and catch three of them. Usually, you see a lot more than that, a lot more than three of them, but they're like, going through the clouds, and you're seeing these triangular lights go through the clouds. Very, very good video. That's definitely authentic. They did not fake that because I've seen that exact same thing before. And I've also seen like the grid in the sky. So that's another thing. I've ran into, a post on social media a couple months ago. People were talking about this, like seeing this grid in the sky. If you've seen that also, I would love to hear back from you also, because that is significant. It has to do with like mass contact. Also, there's another video.
Вон, видишь. Сейчас у тебя проходим, смотри. Вон она, сука, безобразие лежит. Сейчас, погоди. Да вот, ебать, часа два назад, хули, ебаный, бро. Собака хули унюхала, сука. И все, мы хули думаем, что за нахуй лежит? Смотри,
бывший.
да я хуй знает, погоди, смотри. Вообще, ебать его копать, что за нахуй-то? Ну, это понятно, что дохлый его будет. Дохляк, короче, лежит.
Да, она не та, что планета.
Полнейшая дохлять.
Инопланетяне.
Ноги хули нету, ебаный, нахуй.
Загрызли, наверное.
Мгм. Вообще как это ебать тень. Непонятная.
Он уже, наверное, с неделю лежит, наверное, тут.
Но...
Если не больше.
Yeah, so that is a absolutely fascinating video. I saw that a long time ago. It is the title of it is "Possible Alien Body Found in Russian Village in 2011." That's not what the title was originally when I first saw this video. Um, yeah, that is legitimate. That is a legitimate. It's more than likely it's one of those bioorganic androids from Zeta Reticuli. It just I don't think that was an actual Zeta Reticuli themselves. They usually wear clothes. They're people. They possess spirit forms. And that body wasn't that big. It was roughly like 4 or 5 feet, roughly the size of the bioorganic androids that the Zeta Reticuli have. So I'm not sure what they were doing up there in Siberia, but from what I can make out, and I do understand Russian, I speak a little bit of Russian. Um, I think it's kind of like mumbled. The voice was mumbled. I think he was saying that the wolves got to him. It chewed off his leg, and chewed off his arm. That's what he was saying essentially. But very very interesting video. I'm gonna keep that on my computer. That one is most definitely real. I don't understand why when it first came out, people were trying to say that it was fake. They have absolutely no reason to fake this. They're not trying to, get like social media fame and do all that kind of nonsense that people do here in America for attention and fame and all that. It was legitimate, and yeah, that was one of those dead bioorganic androids, likely. But all right, so you got something else. Unbelievable. So this is not a video; it's a picture. Says Trump reignites feud with Italy's prime minister by suggesting she's a stalker. Yeah. So Georgia Maloney is apparently stalking Donald Trump because he is the world's most eligible bachelor, and all the women want him. You have got to be kidding me. All this nonsense started with that summit that they went to, and supposedly he said that she was begging him for a picture and all that kind of nonsense, but she said that she wasn't. She doesn't beg anybody for anything. I believe it. I do believe it. And she even canceled the envoy that was supposed to come to America or whatever because of all that nonsense. Because this guy is just unbelievably unhinged. He thinks that the world revolves around him, and he's always just trying to like paint his own narrative, claiming that she wants him and she's stalking him and texting him all the time. I don't think so. I think she's pissed off that he's going around lying about it. But honestly, it's kind of petty. If I was her, I would just like ignore him, just ignore him, let him say whatever he wants to say, and go about your business because it doesn't do you any good of stooping to his sick and twisted level. But I'm not really sure about Georgia, but and a lot of people don't like her in Italy. They say she's like a far right, kind of leaning towards like Mussolini and all that. I don't know. I haven't seen really much evidence of that, but I don't know much about her. But she seems like she's intelligent, But getting involved with that nonsense, that back and forth, is just ridiculous. I don't think that she's stalking him. He's just making it up. Like everything else that comes out of that man's mouth is a perpetual lie. So you can't trust anything that he says. All right, so got a funny picture here. This is hilarious, and it says, "Female pastor or priest practice oral sex on men to suck out their demons." Yeah, that's what I read that right. And then it says on the bottom says Armando Cuevas. It seems a bit disrespectful that the article doesn't mention the location of the church. I guess he wants to go to the church and find out. So yeah, that's what apparently she looks like. She's like a priest, and she was practicing a different type of exorcism. Unbelievable. Yeah, I showed this to my boss, and he was like, "Where's this church at? I want to go to it." All right, I got another one here. All right, so if you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, that was one of those robots, one of those Chinese robots. It was malfunctioning. I think is somewhere in Mexico they bought it, and then it was doing karate. It was like kicking the door down. It was kicking the chairs, kicking the people. Defending itself using karate. So I guess it was malfunctioning. Yeah, what a shock. That's not really shocking at all, guys. This civilization is not anywhere near the technological level of developing advanced robotics and all that, but it is getting to that point. Um, things are advancing a little bit, but it's looking more and more like robots are being connected to artificial intelligence. You've got uh, Peter Thiel and Alex Karp. They're going on a rampage, and so is that guy from Open AI. What's his name? Sam Altman, the same one that molested his own sister when she was 3 or 4 years old. That disgusting individual. So yeah. And he hasn't seen a single like minute in jail. That's how these people do it. They're gonna face some sort of repercussions eventually. They are, guys. I promise you that they are. um, and apparently something else that's going on is I mentioned it yesterday, but Vladimir Putin is planning an attack on Poland, and that's very, very likely that it's going to piss off NATO, and that's the first stage in World War III. So um, I don't know. I don't know how else that we're going to, get out of this sort of situation. Um, it just seems like these negative individuals that's all they want. So right now I'm putting up the all the articles and stuff like that. I'm going to go into genetics. I'm going to go into that in detail. Um, also, consciousness, power, healing. So it has to do with meditation pyramids. I'm going to put that up. Also, I will put up the um, the download for it, the meditation pyramid. I'll put that up on my website or whatever, so you can download that for free. It's already up there, but I'll put it again. But Yeah, it's gonna take a few minutes. All right. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this off while I'm doing that. All right. So one of the diseases I wanted to talk about was asthma. All right. What I talked about last night, I talked about that experience that this woman had in Wisconsin with this other human being, and he told her to create a meditation pyramid out of copper, and to put her child. I think he was like 5 years old, and he had asthma. So it literally cured him within a couple of months. It cured him. All he did was sleep underneath this meditation pyramid. So it is very, very effective at that. Also, going to be talking about uh, ketogenic diet. Also, so you'll have to incorporate all of this stuff together. Where is it? There it is. All right. So it says asthma is a common long term inflammatory disease of the airways. It is characterized by variable and recurring symptoms and reduced lung function. Symptoms include episodes of wheezing, coughing, chest tightness, and shortness of breath. The sudden worsening of asthma symptoms, sometimes called an asthma attack or an asthma exacerbation, can occur when allergens, pollen, dust, or other particles are inhaled in the lungs, causing the bronchioles to constrict and produce mucus, which then restricts oxygen flow to the alveoli. And this is what the alveoli is. So if you guys are listening, like in your car and stuff like that, to the audio, as soon as you get a chance, you'll have to refer to the Patreon video, because there are a lot of visuals on this episode. But I'll do the best I can to articulate this. So this is what the pulmonary alveolus. You've got capillary beds. You got the atrium, alveoli, and pulmonary artery, and pulmonary vein. So the pulmonary artery is in blue, the pulmonary vein is in red, and then you got the mucosal lining. That's the middle of the tubes, and this is where you breathe into. You've got the alveolar duct and the alveolar sacs, which fills up with air. And if you have any sort of issues or whatever, mucus builds up, and you go into an asthma attack. So, all right. So this is phenotyping and endotyping. All right, a phenotyping is the way in which a condition presents itself, such as when the disease starts to affect a person and what symptoms an individual displays. An endotype is the mechanisms that underlie the condition. Asthma is most commonly divided into two endotypes, T2 high and T2 low. Within the two main endotypes, there are subpopulations, phenotypes, some of which overlap and can be categorized under both of the endotypes. So the two endotypes are distinguished based on the type of inflammation present, with the type 2 high endotype involving type 2 immune system response, and the type 2 low involving type 1 immune. So we also have the phenotypes include under the type 2 endotype include early onset allergic asthma and aspirin exacerbated respiratory disease. So I'm going to put that up here. I'm not going to read the rest of that, but All right, aspirin exacerbated respiratory disease, or AERD, also called NSAID, exacerbated respiratory disease. It's induced by aspirin. So, those of you that don't know, if your child or yourself or someone elderly is having some sort of asthma attack, do not give them aspirin. This will, compound the situation if they're allergic to it. So, um, it's extremely common. 90% of the people have this. So you don't know for sure whether your child or baby or whatever, or your grandparent or whatever is part of this 90% of the people that do have this. Please don't do it, because that's just going to make the situation a whole lot worse. And it's most of the times it is fatal though. So I'll put a couple more up here, a couple more pictures. I think I already put that one up there. Nope. Got one more to put up there. Sorry, you're just gonna have to bear with me. I got all these. Maybe I should just put it in a PowerPoint presentation. All right, so you have the next one here. All right, this is the genes for the different medications. So you have glucocorticoids. That's what it looks like there. It's got the chemical construction of it. Then you got B2 agonist, anti-leukotrienes. We're going to that. First one is glucocorticoids. All right, glucocorticoids are a class of corticosteroids, which are in turn a class of steroid hormones, and they bind to the glucocorticoid receptor that is present in almost every vertebrate animal. Um, and they're part of feedback mechanism in the immune system, which reduces certain aspects of immune function, such as inflammation. Therefore, used in the medicine to treat diseases caused by an overactive immune system, such as allergies, asthma, autoimmune diseases, sepsis. They do have side effects. They also interfere with some of the abnormal mechanisms in cancer cells. So they have been used for the study of cancer. All right, the next one is the B2 agonist. B2 agonists are a medication that relax the airway, smooth muscles, improving airflow in conditions like asthma and COPD. And COPD stands for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Usually, people that are elderly get that. So, beta 2 agonists bind to B2 adrenic receptors or smooth muscle or airways. Um, this activates adenylyl cyclase. All right, and is let me see. Let me scroll back down. All right, I'm going to the next one here. All right, is anti-leukotriene, also known as leukotriene modifier and leukotriene receptor antagonist, is a medication which functions as a leukotriene-related enzyme inhibitor, and this is a arachidonate 5 lipoxygenase. I'm gonna put that one up too. All right, so what that is is also known as ALOX5, and it's a non-hemi iron containing enzyme that in humans is encoded by AOLOX5 gene and is a member of the lipoxygenase family of enzyme. It transforms essential fatty acids, substrates into leukotrienes, as well as a wide range of other biological active products. All right. So I'm gonna go into another one, and I'm gonna talk about both of these. I only put two, sort of diseases up here. Um, that it's very effective. Consciousness power healing is very effective with both of these. That's the reason why I put both of them up. It's also it's very effective with other types of cardiovascular diseases, neurological diseases. Um, Absolutely incredible. What it does, meditation, it aligns the acids in your brain, the cerebral spinal fluid, towards the positive, because on earth with all this negative energy, the cerebral spinal fluid that we have within our heads, that the brain is suspended in, it is very aligned towards the negative. So the more you meditate, the better off you are. So the next one I'm gonna put up here is atherosclerosis, and this one is very, very common. It is mostly common with adults, but there have been children that have been born with this. And mainly why I wanted to do this episode, I wanted to, if there's any parents out there, which I sympathize and empathize with, all you parents out there that have children that maybe were born with something, asthma or some sort of pulmonary disorder or cardiovascular disease or whatever. And I wanted to share this knowledge with you. All right, so atherosclerosis is a pattern of the disease characterized by development of the atheromatous plaques in the walls of the artery. This is a chronic inflammatory disease involving many different cell types and is driven by elevated levels of cholesterol in your blood, primarily LDL, low density lipoproteins. These lesions lead to narrowing of the arteries. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this, diagnosis, this disease. It says here, it usually starts around middle age, leads to coronary artery disease, stroke, peripheral artery disease, or kidneys. But however, I did hear just recently, I think this girl was what was she, like 7 years old, and yeah, she was 7 years old and she was over 300 pounds. So she had multiple disorders. Um, it wasn't like she was necessarily born with it. It was her parents that were overfeeding her, and she got. Can you imagine a 7-year old child over 300 pounds? I'm not even like close to being 300 pounds, and it's just unbelievable. And I don't know what's happened with the parents. Apparently they're at risk of going to jail because of neglect, child neglect. I don't know all the details about that, but it is a true story that just happened recently, like within the last couple weeks. To even imagine a child, a 7-year old child, being over 300 pounds is unbelievable. And she would have atherosclerosis. She probably had asthma, bronchitis. Um, she probably most definitely had diabetes. Started out with pre-diabetes, um, insulin resistance, and it just kept on compounding. To do that to to a child that's developing that way, the diet has to be beyond horrible, and she must be eating, like 6, 7, 8, 9 times a day, snacks, and probably like 5 meals per day. Um, I can't even. imagine. That's just unbelievable. But yeah, apparently the parents they neglected her, and that's what happened. Very very sad. All right, we'll put a couple more pictures up. So it says that atherosclerosis it is compounded by smoking, drinking also. That will compound the situation on that. You get like a plaque in your arteries, and eventually you overexert yourself, and then you have a heart attack and or a stroke. And the symptoms of people that have strokes, if you've ever seen it, just like Donald Trump, he has had multiple strokes. One side of your face is drooping. Usually, it's like the right side. No, no, usually it's the left side. Your left side droops. I'm sorry, not the right side. But yeah, you can tell on a person if you see their face is drooping on one side, usually the left side, then they've had a stroke recently. Even if they deny it, and some people have had strokes while they're sleeping and they don't know it. You burn millions upon millions of brain cells um, when you do have a stroke. There's been people that have had like strokes and heart attacks that have forgotten who they are. It's been so bad. I'm gonna put some of this up. All right, so all right, I'm gonna go into the cell. All right, so the outside of the cell here is the cell membrane. People call it different. They call it plasma membrane. It is made up of this extracellular fluid, and so you have protein channels. That's where the proteins that are made within the cells. That's where they exit out. They come out that way. All right, this is made up of two phospholipid bilayers. That's what I call a bilayer because there's two of them. And you got phospholipid molecules, the ones that are in red. They're constructed together. And you got hydrophilic heads, hydrophilic tails, and they are connecting both sides. It's like a double layer. All right, you have some other proteins. You have integral proteins and glycoproteins on the outside of the cell, and you have globular proteins. Also, within this phospholipid bilayer, you do have cholesterol and glycolipids. All right, I'm gonna go back to the cell here. So that's what the outside is made of. One of the most important parts of the cell is the mitochondria. So if you guys remember that from like school, that is like the powerhouse. It produces ATP, adenosine triphosphate. It's a adenosine molecule with three phosphate groups on it. All right, so that is powered. Now nobody knows where that comes from. Nobody knows where the actual power comes from. They say it just comes, from food, from sugar, but that's not the case though. It's what it is mitochondria. You take carbon, hydrogen, oxygen molecules, and it changes it into ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Um, that's the assumption from medical sciences, but that's not really what it is. It's spiritual energy. That's what also contributes to the mitochondria and the electrical charge. So it's going to be a while before scientists figure that out. They are making some progress. I've said this before. Japan's making some progress on this, on delving into the cells. China is also, but there are invisible layers. There are 7 invisible layers to DNA. So in the middle, you've got the nucleus, the purple round thing in there. And then in the center of it, you have the nucleolus. It's the condensed region where ribosomes are formed. It creates ribosomes. All right. And within the nucleus, you have chromatin. It's DNA plus associated proteins. So then you have ribosomes on the outside. They're, where is it at? It's on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. I don't know why they didn't. It's not on this picture, but yeah, the ribosomes are there, and they have a specific function. So they're on the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and they read mRNA, and they build proteins, and amino acids combine, form a protein. Every three nucleotides on ribosomes as one amino acid. So I'm gonna go into here. Let me see. I did not put that up. Let me put that up right now. All right, so amino acids, there are 20 of them. This is their structure. So you have glycine, alanine, valine, leucine, isoleucine, methionine, tryptophan, phenylalanine, proline, serine, threonine, cysteine, tyrosine, asparagine, glutamine, aspartic acid, glutamic acid, lysine, arginine, and histidine. Yeah, so you have nine essentials. Um, as they say, you have nine essential amino acids. They are created, by the ribosomes, and is turned into proteins. So we have there are 20,000 proteins. Yeah, possibly 20,000. I believe that there are more. That's just what geneticists and biologists believe, that there are like 20,000 proteins, but there's been people that have theorized that there's up to 400,000 different proteins. But you also have to take into account that within the nucleus you have chromatin and DNA that's coming out of it. So I do have a picture for that. We'll put that up. So you have the chromosome and chromatin at the bottom. You have the DNA coming out of it. So the thing is, there's only 5% of the genetic code that is visible. There's another 95% that is not accessible. People call it junk DNA. It's not junk DNA. It has a purpose. So that would account for, you'd have to like multiply that 20,000 times another 95% that you don't know about. It does have certain functions like developing telepathy and telekinetic ability, and the ability to, in the dark, touch an object and know what color it is, to do telepathy, other consciousness abilities. Um, And there are all sorts of, different types of abilities. People call these supernatural capabilities, but they're not. Um, they're just natural human abilities. Once we access that other 95% of the DNA, um, and the actual sub levels, because there are, subatomic levels to it. There are 7 additional levels to it within this nucleolus, this chromatin. So, all right, so you have you got the Golgi apparatus. That is this sort of like pink thing over here. That's the Golgi apparatus. You have the cis side. It's the side facing towards the nucleus, and the trans end, and it packages the protein outside of the cell. It's called exocytosis. So it exits out of those protein channels. All right, then you got the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. It makes lipids and carbs and enzymes. So that's a different type of function from the rough endoplasmic reticulum. There are no ribosomes on the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. All right, and you got lysosomes, enzymes that break down or destroy infected cells. Lysosomes are these little like pink circles here. Peroxisomes, where they at? The green ones, peroxisomes, they pretty much, break down any. It sort of like detoxes the cell, and it also the function of the peroxisome is to remove peroxide. So also the lysosome, its function is to when the cell dies or whatever, it sort of eats the cell within it. Then you have vacuoles. Where they at? Right there, that gray sort of thing. It just stores stuff. It stores like fat. If this is a fat cell, it will store fat in there in the vacuole. So, all right, you have a centrosome. Where's that at? It's not on here. Centrosome's not on here. It should be on this picture, but all right, the centrosome, it just it gets chromatin, and then you have microtubules or microfilaments. Some people call them microtubules, but they're microfilaments, and they're made of proteins and they connect. So all these different parts of the cells, they're all connected with these microtubules. All right. I'm gonna go to the next one. All right, this is the ribosome. This is sort of the transcription process. So it goes through the ribosome, and it creates amino acids, which create whichever protein. That's the type of protein that it creates. All right, mitosis. That's one of the different forms of cell division. You have mitosis and you have meiosis. This is the sort of process that it goes through the chromosomes here, and you have it splits off into a new cell, and chromosomes are divided. So that's why, if you heard of that company, 23andMe, you have 23 chromosomes. So you get 23 from your father, you get 23 from your mother. You have a total of 46. But through cell division, you end up with 23. So that's all right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about DNA. It is a polymer that has two polynucleotide chains forming from a double helix. I'm gonna have to put that picture up. I really need to figure out a way to organize this whole lot better. There's got to be a little secret to it, but you can only put like 10 pictures up at a time up here, so kind of confusing. But I'll get it. I'll figure it out. All right, here we go. Got that one. Put that up. Here is the picture of it. You have all the bonds on there. All right, so you have these there's a double helix here. All right, so you have the 4 nitrogen nucleobases. So you have cytosine as the C, you have guanine, the G, adenine is the A, and thymine is the T. So A and T are always together, and C and G are always together. And you have oxygen molecules, you have nitrogen, you have carbon, and you have phosphorus, and you have hydrogen. So as you can see here, you have a phosphorus molecule that's bonding with 3 oxygen and a carbon, and they're linked together. They are connected together through electrical impulses. They share an electron. So I'm gonna put up the simplified one here. All right, so this is a really good simplified version. You have AT, so you have adenine and thymine, and then next down you got GC, guanine, and cytosine, and then it flips. It flips around. So this is like a spiral staircase. Just think of it as that, as a spiral staircase going up, and AT, GC, TA, AT. All right. You have a sugar called deoxyribose and a phosphate group joined together by covalent bonds sharing of an electron. Sugar of one and phosphate of the next. All right, so you have a total of, they say 25,000 genes, but I just mentioned that 95% of the genome is considered junk DNA. So there's considerably more. There could be, if I'm taking a guess, it could be like 150,000 probably. And you have 23 pairs of chromosomes, and your chromatin, if you were to extend it out, it'd be like 5 or 6 feet. That's what it would be. So yeah, DNA and cells, it's a whole lot that would take multiple episodes. I'm not gonna split that up, but all right, I'm gonna talk about the first step that you need to do. So this is the first step. You need to take care of your diet and nutrition, because when you meditate, you need to be, physically fit. Your mind needs to be clear. So you can't drink, you can't smoke, marijuana or anything. You can't be on any sort of psychedelics or anything. Meditation has to be, you know, complete clear minded. So the ketogenic diet is the best diet for that. So your ketone range needs to be within 0.5 to 1 um, millimoles per liter. I forgot how you pronounced it. I wanted to say milliliters, but no, that's considered light ketosis. Then you have 1 to 3 millimoles per liter is medium ketosis, and 3 to 5 millimoles per liter is therapeutic ketosis. That means that you've probably been fasting for like 2 days, uh, possibly 3 or more. The longest I've ever gone, I've gone like 5 days, And I'll tell you what, after a second day, I feel incredible actually. Um, so a millimole is it's per liter. It's like 1/1000th of a mole, and a mole is used in chemistry and biology. It is 6.022140076 times 10 to the 23rd power particles, and that's called Avogadro's number. And all chemists use that, and biochemistry, geneticists and stuff like that. They use that to um, do their calculations because everything's so minuscule when it comes to that. And this did not. I don't know why it did that. Hmm. That is bizarre. That didn't that cut it off, but that's fine. Anyway, I know what it said. All right. You need to maintain 20 to 50 grams of carbohydrates or less per day. I don't recommend using exogenous ketones. That you can buy at pretty much any store, and build your ketones up. I don't recommend that. You have to create ketones yourself through the absence of carbohydrates. Below like 20-50 carbohydrates per day, and your liver produces to it's called ketoneogenesis. Um, and beta hydroxybutyrate. So avoid anything high level of sugar, flour, grains, fructose, such as watermelons, bananas, mangoes, and cherries, and avoid biscuits, pasta, bread, unless it's keto bread, cereal, oatmeal, high fructose corn syrup. That means soda like Pepsi, Coke, um, cakes, snacks with excessive sugar. This is one of the most important things that everyone needs to know about. This is the glycemic index. If you look this up on the internet, there's different types with different sort of foods and vegetables and fruits and all that. But this is the one that I pulled up. So um, you need to keep like from 0 to 55. That means it's very low on the glycemic index. It has very little carbohydrate, so you need to keep that on the low side in order to stay within, ketosis. Um, you don't really have to like measure your levels. You can if you want. They have like it's sort of like these devices that you prick your finger with, sort of like glucose meters, and you can measure your ketones that way. Also, they have like strips you can urinate on. I bought some. I never use it. I don't really need to because I'm pretty disciplined when I want to stay in ketosis. I'm pretty disciplined in doing that, so I don't have to worry about it. But this is very very important. So um, look that up on the internet. Glycemic index. Let's see what foods are high on jackfruit. I don't think I've ever eaten jackfruit before. That's odd. Pomelo. I'm not sure what that is either. But it says Gatorade is definitely high up there. It's a 78. Gatorade's a 78, so that's high in sugar. Coconut milk is a 97. I drink coconut milk. I can't drink like regular cow's milk anymore. I've tried like oat milk. That's all right, but coconut milk's a whole lot better. But it is high up there. But and fava beans and what else? That's about it. But you also got other glycemic index with that are more comprehensive. So you got like all the meats, pretty much like pork and beef and salmon and all that, very low on the glycemic index. So yes, just download that off the internet and go by that. That's very informative. All right, so you need to use avocado oil, olive oil. Don't use corn oil or canola oil to cook with. Butter is good, and bacon oil. Keep protein to below 10 ounces if you're a woman. You don't need to eat more than that. and 12 ounces if you're a man. Below that, you need to at least 10 cups of cruciferous vegetables per day. And a good low cost alternative, which I started doing, is buy frozen vegetables because they flash freeze them. And it's a whole lot cheaper, especially with the groceries going up. It's a very, very like affordable way of doing it. All right, some meal substitutes. You got burgers that have bacon, cheese, all the condiments you want, but wrapped in lettuce. They also have like ketogenic breads. You have to be careful with those. You have to look at the ingredients on them, but some of them are pretty good. You also have another meal, Alfredo with chicken, broccoli, other vegetables, and edamame pasta. Yeah, so edamame is organic soy. All right, like for breakfast and stuff like that, omelets, eggs are really good for you. You put like meat, vegetables, cheese, all you want. Instead of potatoes, sliced tomatoes, or there's this thing called cassava flour. It's very low on a glycemic index. You can like form it into hash browns. I've never done that before. I've had like cassava flour chips before, and they're really good. But you can do all kinds of stuff with that. And then for dessert, you can have like keto ice cream. They have even keto cookies and snacks, and you can look up, like recipes for them. I didn't put any recipes up here, even though I'm actually a pretty good cook. Um, maybe one day I'll do that. I'll put some recipes up and stuff like that. But you can look that up pretty easy on the internet. So it's not a very like restrictive diet that people think it is. You just have to avoid certain things. All right, this is very important here. These are the chemicals and harmful additives to avoid. Also, all of these things they affect, your mental well-being. They affect you through meditation. So you have carrageenan, what that is, and they are putting that in everything right now. Um, Carrageenan is made from like red seaweed, and they use it in clinical studies to stimulate inflammation, like studies for arthritis and calcification and stuff like that. Um, that is not good. They're putting that in yogurts. They put that in like coconut milk, coconut cream. I've even seen it in like some dips and stuff like that. I wanted to get some dips at the grocery store, and I looked at the ingredients and it said carrageenan. And I was like, no. Um, it was in the coconut milk that I was buying, and it was making my elbow hurt. So I had some sort of like tennis elbow because of it. And then magically, when I stopped consuming it, the pain went away. So it is extremely inflammatory, even though you will look it up on the internet and they will say there's not enough data that supports that. But I promise you that it is. You got rapeseed oil, which is essentially canola oil, MSG, everyone knows about that, monosodium glutamate, trans fats, nitrates, and nitrites, which are like cured meats, like beef jerky and stuff like that, and deli meat. Some deli meat have it, pepperoni, salami, and all that. Refined grains, guar gum is pretty similar to carrageenan. It's used to like thin stuff out and keep like a pretty good consistency with liquids and stuff like that. Avoid pure cane sugar. Alternative would be allulose or monk fruit. That's a whole lot better than cane sugar. Then you have high fructose corn syrup, of course, and soda and all that. Splenda is horribly bad. There's been studies that have proven that Splenda actually causes cancer. So, if you're taking Splenda, don't. Some people they have, at work, that's all they have is just like the artificial sweetener. I would suggest if that's all they have at work, just bring your own, and then you don't have to worry about it. So, starches, complex starches such as rice and potatoes, it's not good for you. It really isn't, believe it or not. Sodium benzoate, soybean oil, And what is that? Potassium bromate is using to kind of like thicken breads out. So yeah, that's it for that. Excuse me. All right, so I'm gonna put up the meditation pyramid. I'm gonna go over some of the dimensions. I've already done this on a previous episode, but um, this is absolutely significant. This is one of the most significant parts of this conscious power exercise. So if you want to, cure asthma, atherosclerosis, some neurological disorders, even trouble with memory and all that, you need to invest in this. I know that it's difficult times right now, and meditation pyramid is kind of on the expensive side. You can like commission someone to build it out of brass or copper. I would always suggest copper, but all right. So I'm gonna put up the other picture first. What it actually looks like. It's not on there. All right, this is the end. This is the end product over here. What it's supposed to look like. That's pretty much what it looks like there. It's got that wheel on top. It has 2, 4, 6, 8 spokes on it, and this one is made out of copper. This one is one of the ones that's at the Semyazi Silver Center. So that's where these specifications come from. So it's in German, but as you can pretty much easily translate that. So there, at that where the legs come up and the bottom of the pyramid is, that's an enclosed base. You have to get underneath that and you have to meditate. But you can't do that out in the sun. So you need to be like indoors in order to meditate. People think that you can just be out in the sun and see all that sunlight. It's going to interfere with the light behind your eyelids, so you need a dark room. You may even need to put like sheets or a blanket over the whole meditation pyramid. That doesn't affect it any bit. You need to keep that light out, and also you may need to put earplugs in. So here's a construction of the wheel with the 8 spokes on it. All this has to be very, very precise. Um, those are the spokes, so it's like 53.5 centimeters. And then there's that base. That's very, very important right there. It needs to have this star configuration. It's sort of like a compass, and it needs to face up, not face down. Um, the leg portion that faces down, to see how long the legs are. If you were to give these specifications to a fabricating expert, they should be able to do it. Or if you have skills yourself, so you should be able to do it yourself. Yeah, so you can make it in copper, and it still has the same effect, but I would recommend it in, I mean, you can make it in brass, but I would recommend copper. So it would probably cost you, anywhere from $900 to $2,000. Um, so if you're a parent and you're at the end of the rope and you really want to try something significant, you would rather spend money on creating this, even though it's like some sort of alternative uh, method of healing. Um, and it'll end up looking like this. You can invest in it. It's something that you can keep for the rest of your life, and you can continue to use it. The trick is you have to face um, one of the corners. So you have to face one of these corners. It has to be facing north. that very precisely. So you take a compass, you get a compass on your phone, and you move the corner north. So if you guys noticed, pyramids in Egypt, they are all pointing north because they were created by Pleyar 75,000 years ago, and they knew about the effects of it. Also, they have other underlying effects, so that therefore, like teleportation. This, I mean, you can practice teleportation, but I doubt that being genetically altered that we're going to develop teleportation right now. That's going to be hundreds of years into the future. But all right, so I'm going to go into the process of it. All right, what you need to do is you have to calm your nerves down. You have to practice all this, and you have to lower your stress level. So you're going to practice the exercises of closing your eyes, shutting your consciousness off, and focusing on the back of your eyes, and you will start to see, sort of like watercolors. You're going to start to see blue watercolors, green, yellow, and red. Once you reach red, you're in your subconscious. Now, at the beginning, before you start to see the colors, because sometimes it's more difficult for certain people to achieve that, which I'm not going to lie, and it has been difficult for me to achieve that, but I've seen it. Um, it's very frustrating, but I keep at it and I keep at it, and I made progress. So I was able to heal cuts and certain things like that, um, to instantly get rid of headaches. I've had like serious sinus pressure, ear aches, all sorts of things, and I've, um, like pressure on my head from, I don't know, the weight of negative energies. Uh, I guess probably somebody needs to turn their car alarm off. But yeah, so it does work. It's incredibly effective. It lowers blood pressure. It can completely heal atherosclerosis if you do the ketogenic diet along with it. Also with asthma and any other type of pulmonary disorder, cardiovascular disorder. But this is something that you need to work at. And the longer and longer you meditate, the better off that you're going to be. So what you see at the beginning of it is sort of like whitish colors and darker images going by. So you will begin to see like sort of light in the distance. You have to keep yourself calm. So um, don't engage in any kind of road rage. Lower your stress out. Exercise regularly, and you're going to see some progress. But if you do not choose to create this meditation pyramid, unfortunately, it's going to be very, very difficult to achieve consciousness power healing. So it does take practice. You can practice with a candle, focusing on the base of the flame, and shutting your consciousness mind off. But you have to keep your eyes open to focus on that flame or whatever, and you begin to develop laser focus. This takes several weeks to do this, but you will start to see healing processes. If you have a child or a baby or anything, what you do is you put them underneath here in a safe, like you can put like a little mattress and blanket down, and let them sleep there. You can put this right next to your bed, and you can put them down there. It'd be on the floor, of course. You're not going to put this on a table or anything. Um, I imagine if you can fit it in their crib, then you could do that. You could put it in their crib as long as it's not going to fall down. And within a few months, you will see the most amazing results, and it does work. So the wheels on top, it focuses. It it sort of like reflects electromagnetic energy and other people's thoughts. And it also draws in creational energy. So there is positive energies within the universe, and it draws that within down, and it expands it out in a pyramid shape. And you are enveloped in this energy. You have to sort of like visualize this, but you have to do it at a sort of like subconscious level. So you cannot like force this. You have to let go, and you have to just go with the flow of the visuals that you're seeing behind your eye and the pure darkness. Do not get like discouraged if it's just darkness. Eventually, these colors will come, and you will get yourself into that relaxed state. It's almost like a state where you're falling asleep, and you also can control things. You can visualize certain things, like, um, and you can start to heal yourself. So the whole point of consciousness power healing, you have to believe. It's it's not. I don't want to say like it's the same thing, but it's similar to all that nonsense. I showed those videos yesterday of these that preacher that had that magical ability to make people fall on the ground and cast demons out and convulse. It's it's all about belief, and if you have enough people believing in it, then it's sometimes it's such a powerful experience that you believe it. But this is belief within yourself, and belief within these creational energies, and you have to visualize it and shut your consciousness off completely. Get into your subconscious. We each have that ability to do that because we are creational energetic beings. So it does take practice. You have to completely get yourself calm. It could take a few weeks. It could take a few months, but you have to lower your stress level. And once you start seeing this, you need to believe and focus on whatever ails you. So it could be arthritis, it could be a broken bone. You can heal a broken bone in, half the time that the doctor says. But just keep in mind, you cannot be on any sort of medication. So if you broke a bone, they give you some sort of prescription medication. Um, you're gonna have to get off that in order to meditate. You can't do that. You can't be on alcohol. You can't be on prescription medication or psychedelics or any of it. And you need to sort of like detox your body with natural foods and different herbs and herbal teas and all that. But this does work. This is absolutely effective. So you're gonna have to take the plunge and invest a little bit of money in this. Like I said, this meditation pyramid will last forever, and you will literally fall in love with it. It seems strange. Whenever you have friends come over, they're gonna say, "What the heck is that?" Because people have have commented on my meditation pyramid. It doesn't look exactly like this one, but they've like, what is that thing? What you're such a weirdo for having a meditation pyramid, but I'm not. Like I'm just a normal person, and it does work. I promise you, it does work, and it sort of puts you like into like this your own little ecosystem of positivity and like I said, you may have to put sheets or blankets over it to prevent sunlight or light getting into it, and you may have to, put earplugs in. But you need silence and you need like darkness. But you focus and you have to believe. That's the thing. Once you reach to that point where you're seeing these colors, blue, green, yellow, and red, and you're feeling it literally is like a vibration going through your body and you believe it and then you focus on that and you don't let go of that. But you have to do it in a certain way where you're not like too forceful, but at the same time you're continuing to believe. So you need to practice and practice and practice. But if you have a child, I would suggest just putting them in a little bed underneath it, letting them sleep and trying that out. Guys, please try that out before you sign up for any sort of invasive surgery or anything. This is very reasonable option, and I wish more people would delve into it. That's the reason why there are pyramids all around the world. There are pyramids in Giza. There are pyramids in Central America. Um, there are pyramids in the Southeast Asian Pacific, Cambodia, Thailand, even India, and China. And It's because these ancient peoples, these other human beings that came here, they knew the power of pyramid. Pyramids have incredible power. There are even people that build their ships like that. I've never seen a pyramidal ship. I've seen triangular ships, but I've never seen the pyramid one. I've seen the videos of it, but apparently people, they build their ships like that. Also, like that television series, Stargate, Stargate SG-1. The gods, what were they called? The Goa'uld. They built their ships in pyramids also. So, yeah, it is significant and it does work. It just takes practice. It is not a forceful thing, but you absolutely have to believe. If you have more than one person, family members, you can sit in the middle and they can sit around in a circle, and they can do some sort of consciousness power healing also, but everyone has to believe. You can't doubt it. It's all about the power of belief, and this has to do with your consciousness. Also has to do with creational energy that gets drawn through your the back of your head is a part called the gamut, and through your spirit form, through your material consciousness, and that's what heals you. So there's a lot of misconception of that, but it does take practice and it does work. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with everyone. Like I said, this is up. The specifications are up on my website, so you'll have to look on the blog. But yeah, just if you have skills, you can do it yourself. You can save a whole lot of money. If not, you'll have to get with some sort of fabrication expert, and they'll be able to help you out with that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my advice. Meditation, it does work and it takes time. Sometimes it can be a little frustrating, but you have to keep at it. So yeah, I think that's it for tonight. And yeah, so I'm gonna still do that episode next weekend on the Order of the Dragon. So get ready for that one. Um, yeah, me connecting a lot of dots. Probably gonna get in trouble with that one because I'm gonna be divulging a lot of secrets with the connections to the Society of Jesus and the Catholic Church. Guys, all these people are corrupt. They're corrupt to the core. And the thing is, if they really wanted to, they can, come up with cures to diseases and viruses and degenerative disorders. This world is just suffering for no reason. And you have all these sick, twisted people that would rather delve into all their sexually depraved things instead of coming together and be at war and all that. Come together as civilization, and we figure this stuff out. All this kind of stuff that I talk about, spiritual meditation, all that, it's going to be like common knowledge in the future, but not right now, I guess. I'm just doing the best I can to relay this information and from my own experience. But yeah, if you guys need to get in touch with me, you can go to Vincent at weareallnotfromearth.com, the business email. And if you want to watch the actual video, which you will have to watch the video on this one, it is on Patreon. It's We Are All Not From Earth podcast. And of course, I got Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Reddit community, We're All Not From Earth. And if you are a podcaster and you want to, promote your podcast on Reddit, it is Discover My Podcast, and I run that community also. So yeah, well, hopefully you guys, this was a little bit informative, kind of a little bit chaotic with all, with all the pictures, but I think I got my point across. So that's it, I guess. I'll see you guys on the next episode, or I'll see you in the next lifetime. Good night.